Dealing with an underperforming employee can be a very difficult task for someone who is trying to run a business. Explaining to someone that they are underperforming at work and doing an inadequate job is a very difficult but very necessary task for the business you work for. There are three main things you want to know before you explain to someone that they are underperforming at work. The first being to understand the problem and to pull the employee aside. The second being to explain to them what they have done wrong. And finally, the third point is to explain how they can be doing a better job at work. The first main idea is to recognize the problem and pull the employee aside. When you hear or see something that is not done correctly, you do not want to waste time. That could be very bad for the business because the problem could be happening again. You want to try and see this problem for yourself. If one of your other employees comes up to you with a problem, pull that employee aside and have a conversation with them. Ask the employee what the issue is that they saw and when it happened, and try to get as many details as possible. The final step you want to do is you want to pull the actual employee aside and talk about their poor work performance that you have heard about. Ask the employee for a private conversation to tell them about some concerns that you have. Inform the employee about what you will be speaking about. The next main idea is to inform the employee what they are doing wrong. Tell the employee what you have seen or heard about their work performance. You can give them specific examples on what they have done wrong if you do know them, and let them know what you have seen or heard from your other employees. You want to ask the employee what they have to say about their work performance. Let the employee explain themselves and really listen to the employee's perspective and reasoning. You can also give examples on what they have done wrong. Explain to the employee what they have done wrong and why it was wrong, because maybe they don't know. Ask them why this has been happening. Take the initiative to ask them why it was happening. Ask if their personal life is okay and if that is why it is causing the poor work performance. The problem could also be caused by a lack of training. If the employee wasn't properly trained, then he might not know the proper way to do his job. That is also could be a big issue. The next main idea is describe what they can do to improve their work. You can give examples on how they can be doing a better job. Tell them how they can improve with examples. If they're late, you could tell them to set more alarms. If they aren't very friendly with the customers, you could give them a script to read to the customers to try to get them to actually socialize a little bit better. But if none of those work, you could tell them the consequences if their work performance doesn't improve. You can give them examples on what will happen if they continue to underperform. Tell them that you will support them and that you hope they will improve. Another thing you can do with all your employees is set up some rules to follow. Set up a 3-strike policy or something along the lines of a rule system for all the workers to follow. For all the workers who make avoidable mistakes, you can task them with odd jobs or jobs that most people usually don't like to do until the 3rd strike or a certain amount of points can cause termination. This setting up a 3-strike policy or a rule system is a great way for the employees to visualize what they have done wrong and what they need to improve on, and give them more of a motivation to try and not get any strikes. Overall, the 3 main things you want to do when an employee is underperforming are understand the problem and pull them aside. This can be very beneficial because once you understand the problem, you can better use that information to talk to them when you pull them aside. And when you pull them aside, you can get down to the bottom of why they're underperforming at work. You also need to tell the employee what they're doing wrong once you know. Once you tell them what they're doing wrong, maybe it will be like an automatic realization to them what they have been doing wrong. Maybe they just forgot. Maybe they weren't trained properly. And finally, you need to describe to the employee what they need to do to save their job and to fix what they have done wrong. So again, you can give them examples on setting alarms early or giving them scripts to talk to employees. But overall, dealing with an employee who is underperforming is a very difficult task and may be uncomfortable and awkward, but is necessary to keep the business running at tip-top shape. The better the employees are, the better you as the boss looks, and it also makes the company as a whole look better.